Hey guys, we're going to be doing slope-intercept form today. So Unit 5 is all about the different forms of a linear equation. Linear being a straight line. So we can have a straight line, but we can have the equation look a bunch of different ways, and we're going to talk about 3 of them. That's Unit 5. Today, though, is just slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So first thing we need to talk about with y equals mx plus b is what if our line isn't already in that form, but we need it in that form. So when I say need it in that form, y equals mx plus b is the best for graphing. So let's say the question asks you to graph, but it looks like one of these. We can make it into slope-intercept form. So what I notice about y equals mx plus b versus these two equations is that in slope-intercept form, y is alone. Y is all by itself, and it's not in my two problems here. So our trick, or per se, for getting something into slope-intercept form is to get y by itself. So let's do it. We're going to it's going to feel like we're switching gears a little bit because we are so used to solving for x. We love to solve for x, but we're not doing that. We're going to kind of pretend x isn't there. It's just another thing. We are focusing on moving stuff away from the y. So I see I've got a 12x, a plus 12x, and a times 6. Well, I always get rid of the plus or minus thing first. So even though that's the x, don't think about it that way. It's the plus. I minus it. And 12 minus 12 goes away, and 6y is left. And then I have a not x term and then an x term. So I can't combine them. I'm just going to put them next to each other, and that's totally okay. Because they're not like terms, I cannot squish them together. That is not going to be 2x. And then I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides because that's the last thing with y. And when I divide by 6, I have to divide by everything. So notice my big fraction bar. And because I have not like terms, I have to do these separately. I can't do in my calculator 14 minus 12 divided by 6. I have to do 14 divided by 6 and 12 divided by 6. And that is going to create 7/3 minus 2x. And this whole thing is what goes into delta math. So y is by itself, and it's swapped around. Like, I could rewrite it. Either way works. Delta math is chill. But this is, your mx plus b. Or you have b plus mx, and that's fine. Either way is fine. But that is probably what you're more often used to. Let's make this one look like slope-intercept form. So I've got a minus 5, and I've got parentheses. I'm going to do both. We're going to distribute just to clean it up. I could add 5 to both sides at the same time, or first or after this. Okay? But we like to do parentheses first, so let's do it first. I distributed, and now I've got y minus 5. I'm going to add 5 to both sides to get y alone. And then I get y equals 3x minus 1. And that's y equals mx plus b too. Okay? So by distributing, I cleaned it up. I made it look like slope-intercept form. If I had left the parentheses alone, it wouldn't have quite looked right, but we still would have gotten y alone. Okay, but I know we love to do parentheses. We love to distribute, so let's do it. That's the most math for today. From here on out, we're taking an equation and we're going to graph it, and then we're going to take a graph and write the equation for it. And we've done this before, so we're just going to kind of review, make sure we've got the steps. First things first, like what we just did, make sure that y is completely alone. Make sure you have perfect y equals mx plus b. So I see a negative 1x, or a negative 1y and a 1x. And that's negative 1 times y. So I'm going to undo it by dividing by negative 1. And I get y equals negative 1x plus 3. So my equation is now perfectly solved for y. We've been talking about slope and the y-intercepts in Unit 4. The y-intercept is the start. So that's where we're going to start. That is my positive 3. So this is my y-intercept. I'm going to go to the y-axis and put a dot on 3. And then I'm going to stay there. You can't see my pen, but I'm leaving it. Oh, you can. I'm going to leave it right there on 3. And then I'm going to count the slope. My slope is negative 1. So I'm going to go from my point down 1 and over 1. And then when I'm going in both directions, I'm going to start back at my 3. And I'm going to do the exact opposite. So instead of down and right, I'm going to go up and left. And notice that makes a straight line. Sorry, I sneezed and now my nose is running. And then step 4 is connecting the points. 2 points make a line, so you probably won't have to make 3 points every time. But I just want you to see what it looks like when we go left instead of right. From graphs to equations. We're always going to start with the y-intercept. I see that I crossed the y-axis at 5. And then from there, I'm going to count my slope, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. So positive 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my rise and my run. And I write slope as rise over run because y values go on top. So my slope is going to be 3 over 5. If my line was going down, that would be negative 3 over 5. Okay, so this is my slope. This is my y-intercept. If I can simplify my slope, then I need to. Delta math will not take a unsimplified slope. But then after that, we're just going to write the equation. So y equals, we said the slope was 3/5. Oop, not m. X plus 5. And that's what I'd put in a delta math. Okay, let's try a couple more. I know yours doesn't have the equation, so write it down so you know what you did. We are going to graph. Oh, sorry, that equation. So we're going to plus 1. Because that's my y-intercept. I always start with the y-intercept. And then from that point, I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a dot. I'm going to go back to my y-intercept. I'm going to do the opposite. So I went up and right. I'm going to go down and left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to write the equation to match this graph. Almost looks the same, just a little bit lower. So my y-intercept is negative 4. So I'm just going to write that. Right? My goal is to make something that looks like this. And I know that my y-intercept is negative 4, so we're just going to drop it down. And then from there, I'm going to count my slope. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So 2, up 2, right 3. I see that's down 2, so 2/3 is perfect. So I started at my y-intercept and I counted from there up to over 3, my rise and my run. And then I write it as rise over run. So 2/3 x minus 4, because that was my y-intercept. Okay, try the homework out and email me if you have any questions. Thank you so much.